Well, kind of go back by, I think it's around 20 years or 15 to 20 years, and there will be a lot of headlines about a weird event that happened. This one younger fellow did cook himself some pasta, just like we do. However, he did cook quite a bit. So over the course of 5 days, he would eat the leftovers of this pasta. And by the last day, he started to taste something weird. And he was like, well, the tomato sauce was a little bit weird. Like, I used a new one. Maybe it's not the best sort of tomato sauce to use. And it's been a little bit old, but it's not that bad, right? So he ate his meal and decided to go to soccer, which I don't understand how you would eat such a carbolicious meal and then go play soccer. Like, get it together. But when you're young, you can do stuff like this, right? And he started to feel really bad. Comes back home, starts like diarrhea, vomit, and he's like, wow, all right, food poisoning, it was kind of off. Shouldn't have eaten it, but whatever, I'll just stay at home, vomit, diarrhea, and drink water. And unfortunately, by the parents the next day, he was found dead. They didn't know why at first. They're like, what happened? Like, was it dehydration? Was he vomiting? What happened to this person? And after some research, they found out that he had a certain bacteria in it. I believe, yes, bacteria called Bacillus cereus. I think that's how you say it. If you know better, you can write down in the comments or just yell at your screen until we hear you. And they're like, where did he like get this very deadly bacteria from? Well, as it turns out, there are certain carbs out there, including rice, that can grow this bacteria in loads. And this bacteria is not to be messed with. It will, like this person here, kill you if you eat it sometimes, or if you eat too much of it. If your rice is tasting off, just don't do it. Throw it away. Because a lot of people, you and me included, when we cook rice, it's maybe not always ending up in the refrigerator immediately. It's staying in that rice pot for a while, and we'll eat it over a few days, or we'll use some leftover rice to make some fried rice and stuff like that. And apparently that's very dangerous. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this, but yeah. And so they do recommend that you store your rice in a cool place like the refrigerator to keep this bacteria from growing, and don't store it for too long. Like, try to keep it under that recommended daily amount or day amount for the expiration date, because this bacteria could sneak up on you. You think it's just food poisoning, and then whoever finds you the next day in your bed passed away. Yeah. I can't imagine. Especially being the parents. They're like, oh, you had food poisoning? All right, just go to bed. Well, and then, just...
Gosh, yeah. I do remember, because I've always been a fan of blue cheese. So I remember asking my parents, like, hang on a minute, why do we get food poisoning, but we can eat moldy cheese? And so my dad explained to me how different types of mold and bacteria are more or less dangerous. Like the one that grows on bread, although it looks awful, it looks like a little green, you know, if you get spots on your bread, you've left it out too long. It's actually not very dangerous. You could probably eat that and not even notice.
But
if you ate
do not.
But don't, I'm not saying try it, but it's really not that big of a deal.
But never eat it.
But don't. But however, rice mold is one of the most dangerous ones. So if there's anything that you're going to throw away early, make sure it's the rice. And the pasta. I didn't know about the pasta.
I wouldn't even think about that at all. I did actually find in my cupboard moldy rice the other day. I don't know where it came from, and it's been in there for obviously years and years and years. But we had rice bugs. And I was like, where are all these bugs coming from? We cleaned out the container like 3 times, froze the rice before putting it in. Where are they coming? It's coming from that old rice. There were thousands of bugs everywhere.
Really? Is it safe to eat a rice bug?
I think so, because I'm sure I have.
I guess if there was that
Still
many.
here. Thousands in the moldy rice, not in the other like rice we use. Anyways.
Extra protein.
Extra protein. Have you ever refused to eat something that either a boyfriend gave you or a restaurant gave you?
Yes. Twice it's been the same thing. It's been at various different fried chicken restaurants. And it's not actually really the taste so much as you bite into it and pull it out and you can tell it's undercooked. And again, often I'm too afraid to ask or complain about food because I don't know what they're going to do to it in the kitchen after I complain about it. But I have stopped eating.
Yeah. That's why, I didn't ask. Did you return it? Did you like throw it in their faces? It's just stop eating.
I'm too scared of that.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. You just keep it away, and that's what I'll do too.
Yeah.
Just, okay.
But if I were to attempt to refuse it and send it back, and in the hope of getting a fresh one, do you got any tips? What are some common ways, polite ways to refuse the dish or complain about the dish?
I think I think a really good tip is when you walk into the restaurant, be nice. Be nice from the very beginning. If they're on your side, they're not going to do anything. And when you do ask for it, like for the chicken stuff, I wouldn't ask like, oh, you need to make me a new one. I'd say, oh, can you just cook this for a little bit longer? Oh, don't worry about it. Just cook it for a little bit longer and I'll be fine. Yeah, and like, I don't know. But why? Why would you have to be so nice? But like not like overly nice. You could just ask. It'd be a better world if you could just ask. But
minimizing language.
Minimizing language. Yes, exactly. However, what we will not be minimizing is our language when we study that vocabulary down below. You got great words like sleep in, one of my favorites. Although I heard as you get older, it gets harder and harder.
So, I'm obviously not that old then.
Yeah, I do love the sleeping in. Well, whatever does the trick for you, go ahead and go down to that vocabulary, try to study it, snarf it down, don't leave anything over for the next day, and try to use it in your everyday life, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Snarf down.
Snarf down.
Leftover.
Leftover.
Freak somebody out.
Freak somebody out.
Culprit.
Culprit.
No.
No.